Well, you take the win, right? 19-8, Kansas City over Denver last night. Let's talk about it and welcome on, of course, our analyst, Kendall Gammon. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Well, Kendall, what do you I mean, there's a lot to say about that game last night. I guess the question is, why couldn't they get the ball into the darn end zone?
Yeah, when you look at the red zone, I think 1 for 5, that was the story of the night. That and the fact that Harrison Butker went ahead and converted with field goals all the way back to 60 yards, which is fabulous. But, yeah, that's something Patrick Mahomes after the game was asked about and identified. He's like, yeah, we did great between the 20s, but when we got in the red zone, we didn't make it happen, and that's what we have to do. So certainly they're aware of it. And then he went on to say, listen, we're very fortunate that we can deal with this and try to work on it while our defense is playing great and getting us through games.
Yeah, well, certainly the defense has been a bright spot, and we'll get to that. Now, you look at Mahomes, a lot of guys were getting in on the action yesterday. Kelsey had 9 catches for 124 yards, so he was spreading the ball around. But what do you think is plaguing this team on that side of the ball? You hate to say plaguing when you're 5-1, but clearly it's not the offense we've come to expect. So is it still just getting in a rhythm with these guys, or is it something else?
Yeah, no, I think it's the rhythm you talked about, and you and I talk about it each week, because we think in terms that they are getting a little bit better, and certainly Rashee Rice continuing to do some good things, but and get better, I think, more comfortable. And again, Andy Reid talked about him last night after the game as well. But it is, I think it's just continued reps and getting better, and you're right. Kelsey making a difference and doing what he did last night was fabulous, the 100-yard game and just how he did it. And Mahomes spreading the ball around to 8 people, which, some games he spread it around to 10 or 11, but all the same, just trying to get through his reads. And he mentioned again, he got greedy once on a well, not so much greedy. He was trying to throw the ball away. He just couldn't throw it where he was trying to, and that led to an interception. So, you know what? They're just not clicking the way they are. And, that defense of Denver is not great, so you would have expected more, but they just keep having to go after it. I just refuse to think that they're not going to get on track here sooner than later, and then when they do, watch out.
Yeah, well, watch out is right, because the defense has just been unbelievable.
Exactly. Yep.
4 sacks last night, 5 tackles for loss. I mean, they were all over that Denver backfield. Russell Wilson had no answer. What last night? I mean, we talk about how good this defense is, but what in particular stood out to you last night, Kendall?
Nick Bolton getting back and how he's moving around. I think that's great. I think it's very fortunate that the Chiefs had somebody like Drew Tranquill to stick in there and allow Bolton to make sure and get healthy, and he didn't show any signs of being hurt, so that was nice, and he had the interception. I think the defensive backs are just doing a great job. Trent McDuffie, knocks out a ball to fumble that the Chiefs recover. I think maybe it was Tranquill, I forget. But in general, the defensive backfield playing great. The front 4 getting pressure, doing some good things against the QB. And at times, Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator, bringing some timely rushes and confusing the offense a bit. And it just, I think it was maybe Nick Bolton after the game also talked about the fact of just how well everybody's playing together. They're where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. They're understanding their lanes, their zones in terms of the pass coverage, and they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. Then Chris Jones gets another sack, and he just continues to be a wrecking ball, because he's getting attention all the time, at least a couple people, or pass protection, they slide towards him, yet he still finds a way to either get a sack like he did last night or even affect and make other sacks happen because of the pressure he's putting on people.
That's so true. And, Kendall, is this really the blueprint for success in the NFL, where you try to draft? I mean, a lot of these guys are drafted Kansas City Chief players. They've hit on the draft. They've got a relatively cheap defense. And, it's a young, cheap defense. Is that the way forward? And then, of course, you got to spend the money on the quarterback and things like that?
It absolutely is. And the quarterback's the number one position, obviously, and the Chiefs have taken care of that. And you mentioned of these young guys on the defense, and it is great. And the Chiefs have to continue to draft well and have young players step up in terms of how they recognize the talent in college and bring them in, because you're going to have a lot of younger players playing most of the time, if possible, because as they mature and if they're great players, the Chiefs simply, and this is the one thing about the business of the NFL, the one thing you can't do is you can't have 5, 6, 7 of the best players in the league and paying them top money. The salary cap simply doesn't permit that. So you've got to develop players, get what you can out of them, and then pick and choose and decide who are the bell cows, who can you build an offense or a defense around, and those are guys that you have to sign. But I mean, it's coming in a few years, not for a while, Chiefs Kingdom, but to where you're going to have to make some decisions in the defensive backfield for sure, and even maybe at the linebacker position, figure out who you can keep and who you can't keep. But in general, this defense is playing great, and that's good news for the Chiefs Kingdom. That's bad news for the NFL.
How big of a mess is Denver right now with that Russell Wilson contract, with the draft picks they gave up? I mean, do you see any way that Sean Payton can turn this thing around out there?
No, I really don't. I've been jokingly referring to it as a dumpster fire, and they're trying to put it out by throwing grease on it. I mean, it gets worse. And the picks they gave up to get Russell Wilson, the picks they gave up to get Sean Payton, the cap, I mean, their cap is just completely wrecked. I mean, they essentially can't cut Russell Wilson for a couple of years. I think next year, if they did, it'd be like a $90 million cap hit, which obviously can't happen. So they have hamstrung themselves for the foreseeable future, I would say.
And I think I saw Payton got himself like an $18 million a year deal as head coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's huge.
It really is. And for them to be doing what they're doing, I mean, the expectations should be higher, and they are. And he's not getting it done right now. And again, we talked about it, I think yesterday, he's taken to the fact that now he's not talking to the local press, local media in Denver. And it's like when things aren't going well, he wants no part of it, it would appear. So that's rough. Couldn't happen to a better team.
Well, I agree, and I just think Peyton. I mean, he's just. I know he's got the Super Bowl, but I think he's wildly overrated, and he's a douche to boot, which isn't a good thing either. So, is what it is. Kendall, hey, great to have you on. Enjoy the weekend off from the Chiefs, at least, and we'll do it again next Friday as we get set for the Chargers game.
That sounds good, Pete. Have a great day.
All right, you too. That is Kendall Gammon. Great to have him on KCMO Talk Radio, now on FM at 95.7.